Welcome back to another episode of War in Cali. In this episode, I'm going to detail the story of Tyrone Robinson, also known as the man who killed one of the most historical black figures ever, Huey P. Newton. Now, I've been speaking on Oakland a lot, but if you speak on Oakland, you gotta mention the Black Panthers in Oakland's history. During World War II, tens of thousands of black people left southern states during the Second Great Migration. Many African Americans moved to Oakland and other cities in the Bay Area to find work. The sweeping migration transformed the Bay Area, as well as other cities throughout the West, into altering white-dominated demographics. In 1966, Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale would found the Black Panther Party, which arose in the following years and started spreading to many branches all over America. The Black Panther Party founded over 60 community programs, including food banks, medical clinics, sickle cell anemia tests, prison busing for families and inmates, legal advice seminars, clothing banks, housing, and our own ambulance service. The most famous of these programs was the Free Breakfast for Children program, which fed thousands of children daily during the early 1970s. Huey P. Newton was also co-founder of Black Panther newspaper service, which became one of America's most widely distributed African American newspapers. In 1969, J. Edgar Hoover, the director of the FBI, described the Black Panther Party as the greatest threat to the internal security of the country. The FBI sabotaged the party with illegal surveillance infiltration, perjury, and police harassment, all are designed to undermine and criminalize the Black Panther Party. The FBI was involved in the assassinations of several Black Panther Party members as well. By the late 70s, the Black Panther Party and its leadership would completely dwindle from various different things, like the FBI determined to take them down, many members dying, jail, and many leadership issues, and a whole list of other things. By the early 80s, the Black Panther Party was no more, and the founding location throughout the 80s will be a completely different place, and the drug trade would take over the streets in the 80s and would have devastating effects to Oakland's urban communities. In the 80s, crack would take over the world in a negative way, making many people become drug dealers and also causing many gang wars and rivalries. The 80s will become one of the deadliest decades in America. Allegedly by the 80s, Huey P. Newton will fall victim to drugs himself and become a user of crack. Now the Black Guerrilla Family, aka the BGF, was another black powerful group founded in the 60s, but was founded in prison, but later spread their power in the streets. While in prison, many members of the Black Panthers were also associated with the BGF. Relations between Huey P. Newton and factions of the BGF have been strained for nearly 2 decades. Many former Black Panthers who became BGF in jail were disenchanted with Huey P. Newton for his perceived abandonment of their in-prison Black Panther Party members. In his book, Shadow of the Panther, Hugh Pearson alleges that Huey P. Newton was addicted to crack, and also said that he extorted local BGF drug dealers to obtain free drugs. This added to their animosity. And that leads us to August 22nd, 1989. Tyrone Robinson was a 25-year-old West Oakland drug dealer and a low-level member of the BGF. He grew up in Oakland his whole life, and Tyrone started down the wrong path of crime at a young age. He had an intensive criminal record, and he also had numerous charges and arrests to his name. In 1985, at around 20 years old, he was arrested and convicted of a robbery. As the years passed, his descent into the world of crime only deepened, eventually leading him to become a member of the BGF, and he would become the man to kill Huey P. Newton. Huey and Tyrone had knew each other for around 2 years. They argued over a dope deal, and Tyrone then shot 47-year-old former leader of the Black Panthers, which will later take Huey's life. Tyrone would say that Huey pulled a gun when the two met at the street corner, but investigators said they found no evidence that Huey even was armed. Huey's body was found laying in a pool of blood on the street in the Oakland neighborhood, where residents would say they were feared of losing the fight against the drug dealing and poverty in the community. The shooting was reported to the police at 5:29 a.m. Huey was taken to Highland Hospital, where he was pronounced dead less than an hour later.
Down and out. Newton was minutes away from death when he was found at 5:30 this morning. He was face up on a sidewalk in West Oakland. Some in the area heard the shots that killed him.
The ambulance people was here, they was trying to, bring him back. But the man never did move.
Officially, police say they don't know much about the killing.
At present, there are no suspects or no motive for the shooting.
But sources close to the investigation say Newton may well have been the victim of the kind of street violence that is common in this poor neighborhood. The sources say in the last 18 months, Newton had become an addict to crack cocaine, and only last night was seen begging for crack and for money on a corner near where he was shot. But many in this neighborhood say Newton was killed by the police.
They knew what he represented.
What he represented to some on this block was a strong black man who would not be pushed around.
What he did was made the people proud of themselves again. He made people feel good about themselves again. Not to be afraid of this and afraid of that for a while.
Some of those who feel Newton helped them have been coming to the scene all day. Some to bring flowers, some to simply be here.
The killing occurred in a neighborhood where Huey Newton, as a minister of defense for the Black Panthers, once tried to set up social programs for black people. The police said Tyrone told them he refused to sell Huey drugs, and the two argued for about a minute. Investigators believe that Huey stole the drugs from the BGF, and that was one of the motives of his death. Tyrone told the police he killed Huey in self-defense and admitted to the police he was a foot soldier, and he wanted to be a shot caller. He thought killing Huey, with Huey's bad blood with the BGF, he would move up. Tyrone wasn't initially a prime suspect, but he was later questioned after being arrested about a mile away from the killing with a gun. Police were determined that Tyrone shot Huey 3 times because he tried to rob him of crack and money. Even with his alleged drug use, Huey Newton's legacy before his tragic demise is big in the culture, and he's a legend.
Let's stop all of this speculation. These people you see here are being arrested just about a block from where Huey Newton was killed. They are taken into custody on charges of possession of a weapon, possession of a loaded weapon, and since then their records have been checked and 2 of them have been found to be ex-felons. So they are facing additional charges of being a felon in possession of a weapon. What police are saying right now, they were questioned for a short time by homicide detectives, but they have not been named as suspects in the Huey Newton homicide.
Tyrone's trial for killing Huey began in 1991. With his confession, it concluded swiftly. He was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 32 years. Tyrone served 18 years in Alameda County before being transferred to Corcoran State Prison in 2009. From there, he wrote a note claiming his innocence and seek legal counsel, but allegedly while at Corcoran State Prison, Tyrone stabbed and killed another inmate on October 11, 2013. By 2016, Tyrone had been charged with the murder. In 2023, Tyrone applied for parole, but was denied for an additional 5 years. Tyrone is now in his 60s, and his next parole hearing is scheduled for 2028.
One of its streets after a co-founder of the Black Panther Party. This 3-block stretch of 9th Street in West Oakland has been renamed to Dr. Huey P. Newton Way.
Black history is being made this Black History Month in this year, 2021. And I can honestly say it's about damn time.
With those words, the widow of Huey Newton unveiled a new section of street named for the original co-founder of the Black Panther Party.
This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.